This is the ultimate PlayStation 3, an original 60GB backwards compatible unit that immediately yellow lighted the day after I made a video on it. So while I could certainly ruin this PlayStation 3 by trying to mod it myself, I gotta be honest with you, resoldering a GPU onto a PlayStation motherboard is a little bit above my pay grade. So we have bought many consoles over the years, and while most of them are functional, some of them are not, like our fleet of PS3s. So I think it would be a great idea to take some of these consoles, which are dearly beloved by me, and actually get these upgraded, modded, and not only back to their former glory, but improved. And so our PS3 has returned. So I'll say that the experience, at least so far, was pretty straightforward. It only took a little bit more than 2 weeks between when we shipped our PS3 and when we received it. Let's see if we finally are the owners of the ultimate PS3 and what else we've got. I want to be clear, this PS3 is a major improvement over what we originally had, because our old PS3 was unfortunately a ticking time bomb. This is the actually legit, I'm sorry I'm hyping this up, I'm gonna open up in a second, but this is quite literally the ultimate PlayStation 3 that could ever exist. It's not even like hacked, where this should be still running like stock firmware and everything, but this will do every PS1, PS2, PS3 game that you could possibly imagine and not explode. The guy who modded this PS3 had excellent communication, so he actually even sent me photos of before and after of the inside of the PS3. What he did was he basically swapped the GPU out of a newer PS3, put it on the original motherboard, which means that you have the reliability and the sort of the cool operation of a later model PS3, but you still have all the bells and whistles, including the backwards compatibility. Very well packed, thankfully. I ain't gonna make a mess now. First layer's done.
Oh my God, first layer.
And here we go. It looks good, man. He took good care of it. One of the reasons why I was so stoked that we got this in the first place is that it is really hard to find a clean or original launch PS3. Most of them, as you can see from the prodigious amount of piano black, got pretty scuffed very quickly. Let us grab a monitor, plug this guy in, and experience the truly ultimate PlayStation 3. I didn't turn on the power supply.
Oh.
Let's see if it works.
Hey, that's a good sign.
Instant. Look at that. It's really quiet.
Yeah, like actually really quiet. Also, they did a couple of other things you didn't mention. He replaced the capacitors.
Oh yes, I forgot about the capacitors. It's definitely a thing on a lot of consoles from like the 90s that the capacitors will just leak or explode.
And he also fine-tuned the voltage so that it would prolong the life.
So this is our copy of Final Fantasy X, which we accidentally gave to him because it was stuck in the disc tray. So this is a Japanese PS2 game that is running natively. Whew. Okay, it works. She looks really sad right now. Now that we know that this actually works with a PS2 game, I want to try playing the greatest PlayStation 1 game of all time. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? 3rd edition. The software cannot be started due to region restrictions. Oh my God, wait a minute. Alex, we're stupid. It's a Japanese PS... Oh. But it works. Here's the thing. I have had the hardware done for me. I need to actually software mod this thing. Alex, how much do we pay for just the modification?
We paid $300 for the service and an additional $30 for shipping.
We maybe spent a little on that because we also bought it originally from Sundico, right?
Yeah. Around $332.
So we've doubled the price. I'm pretty sure I can jailbreak this thing easy peasy.
If there is a montage of anguish and agony, roll it now.
It's gonna be cutting to a glorious transition where I'm like, man, that was easy. It took me 5 minutes. Alrighty then, my friends. Why don't we try this again? So Alex, this is now a jailbroken PS3, is it not?
Yes, it is a fully jailbroken PS3 with like the most common mod that most people do, which is actually fairly easy. It is mostly internet browser based.
Now we can also do some quality of life upgrades. So because it's a Japanese PS3, the cross and the O are swapped, which drives me crazy. So jailbreaking allows you to switch that. It also allows us to play region-free PS1 and PS2 games, something we couldn't do before. PS3 games by themselves generally worked already. So if we try Mr. Regis Philbin one more time, theoretically this will now work. Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Excellent. We gotta play like for a minute, right? Which of these expressions is likely to be used to compliment someone's stylish new jeans? Yeah, they're fat, boy.
We gotta get to at least 500, no, 1,000 to pay off all that we paid for this modded console.
During Prohibition, the U.S. Constitution banned which of these items? Home loans.
No, that was the Great Depression.
Hey.
We made our money back on our PS3! In 1992, rap group Arrested Development had a top 10 hit title after what U.S. state? Never heard of Arrested Development.
Oh, yeah.
What is this? Oh, wow. They're actually pretty popular. Yep, it's called Tennessee. You win some, you lose some, but at least we won ourselves a high-quality PS3. I don't know if we're gonna be so lucky with the rest of this video. This, my friends, is an item that is near and dear to my heart. So this should be our heavily modified Nintendo DS Lite. So this was purchased from moddedcandles.com on Etsy. I sometimes think that Etsy gets a little bit of a bad rap because like some of the stuff is just like very chintzy and whatever, but this is very nice packaging, right? Look, we've got little things saying screens come in 2 tones or tints, warm and cool, yellow or blue. Sometimes these are mixed by our supplier.
Huh?
Okay. I'm excited to try this DS because I will say modding DSs sucks because doing stuff with the screens and trying to run like the ribbon cables, I feel like, what did we do? We did like a new 3DS at one point and I wanted to throw it in the garbage. It was so annoying to try to run. No, we killed that one. Whoops. So you actually can kind of see it. So you see all this like sort of, this like red orange kind of looking thing. So those are ribbon cables that have to go and loop around and around. So the list of things they've done with this is pretty extensive. So it's got the clear black shell, which is actually really nice. It does have new screens, which may not be of high quality, we'll find out. It has tactile bumpers, pretty good. And it also does have USB-C charging. It also does seem to have a new third-party battery as well.
Basically, the only thing they kept was the original motherboard.
Peel this off the screen. Ooh, that's clean. Ooh, wow, actually those screens are bright as heck. The DS thinks it's 2000.
What a great year.
Wouldn't know.
Oh my God.
Leave
right now.
Dust. I know that they said that the screens can come in slightly different kind of like white balances. I do see a little bit of it, but it's also, I mean, these are better than the original DS displays. They're also not great by 2025 or 2026 standards. So the buttons on the front are not changed, right? So they're clear, transparent buttons, but those are just the same kind of like normal membranes. I will say one thing, and this is probably just an issue with the DS in general. This is max volume on the speakers. I don't actually know how much you can sort of mod these speakers to actually not sound so quiet. Am I out of juice?
Dragon juice.
This is a well-modded DS. I think the screens are good. It's clearly been well done. The fact that it's got the USB-C mod already built in. If I have any complaints, it's really just that the speakers are pretty quiet. Let me make sure that actually does charge via USB-C. Yep, and it starts charging. So no big deal there. And considering how much work they did to it, it was fairly reasonable.
We paid $160 for it.
Now, that's more expensive than buying a used DS Lite, but considering the level of work and the mods that went into that, that feels very reasonable. Next up, we have an item that I'm gonna say breaks the rules of this video a little bit. While this is a modified console, it does not perform its console duties anymore. In fact, it doesn't do that at all. So this was shipped all the way from the UK.
Also on Etsy.
Oh, this is Etsy as well. Behold, my friends. British newspapers.
What's happening in the UK?
So we've got ourselves a little suction mount, and we have a Game Boy. Now this is not just any Game Boy. This is a Game Boy Speedometer. What I think this actually is a Game Boy Color shell. It does have like physical buttons and everything, but the game itself doesn't come out. I don't even know if this has Game Boy guts in it. So it actually has a GPS antenna in here. And so you can put this in your car and use this to see how fast you're driving. My understanding, I could be wrong about this, so feel free to fact check me in the comments, is that someone had actually made something like this initially using a real Game Boy, and I think people later realized that they could just sort of modify it much cheaper and just use a Game Boy shell, because this was very affordable. If this really does work as an actual legitimate GPS speedometer, what if you get a ticket and you're like, no, sir, officer, I'm sorry, my Game Boy said I was only doing 55. Well, let's go find out, shall we? So we've got the Game Boy mounted, 0 miles an hour. I'm facing north. There's no actual screen here. I think it's actually just an LCD readout. So what I'll do is I'm actually going to, on the truck, pull up the digital speedometer. So we'll see which one's more accurate.
Well, both seem pretty accurate right now.
You know what? That's a good point. Oh, so it is actually showing, so I'm going northwest right now. Okay, so the actual compass does work. I will say that seems really accurate. It is almost exactly dead on. Like, so I'm following a car right now. It is unbelievably accurate between the two. Like, I've never seen more than like a 1 mile per hour gap between them. Dude, this is like legitimately way better than it has any right to be. You know what this reminds me of? In Luigi's Mansion, when he pulls up the Game Boy Horror. 30, see, nice and smooth. Not doing anything. No school zones in sight. We're all good here. We're all good. We paid what, like 68 bucks for this thing? Dude, I'm so in. I would legitimately, unironically, just like rock this in my car. Like, this is great. Next up, we have a couple of consoles that we shipped out for modification. So both these went to Power Up Gaming. I do want to give a shout out to Justin, the owner of Power Up Gaming. He was very proactive in his communication. Let's start out with our Xbox 360. This was the first message I got was about the 360 because when he received it, he was very nice. He was like, hey, did you know that the memory card door on your 360 is a little bit loose? Is it shipping damage? You want me to like let you know? You want to file a warranty? I'm like, it's the memory card door. So this is an Xbox 360 that we provided, and this one has been, I would say, fairly extensively modified.
He did new thermal paste, he upgraded the hard drive, and did the RGH3 install.
The 360 for a very long time has required like an actual like mod chip, you know, like old school consoles would. A big reason why you would do a mod chip is for homebrew and emulation of your own legally acquired ROMs, of course. Now, Xbox 360s are, as far as I know, still somewhat difficult to soft mod. I do think over the last couple of years, the community started to find some ways to sort of soft mod.
I believe there is a way to do it. It is not a permanent sort of an unlock. This mod chip basically, this is permanent.
Why don't we fire this up and see exactly what we can do with our modified Xbox 360 with some fresh paste. Hopefully this is not dramatic in any way whatsoever. I didn't hit the button hard enough. Immediately, we're just dumped directly into the interface, which I believe is Aurora. So you get a bunch of additional information just right in your guide. The processor temperature, graphics, memory, chassis, that's cool. Alex, what all can I do on a modded Xbox 360?
You can do custom dashboards, like you said, Aurora. As you said before, you could do emulation.
Yep.
To play your legal ROMs.
Let's play some Modern Warfare. Does it take 2 clicks? What the hell? Woo! I'm at 56 degrees Celsius. I got an achievement for watching the cutscene. Let's go! And look how good this looks too. Like, this thing has like friggin' 512 megs of memory. Listen to the disk drive. Just going crazy. I think we all know that the Xbox 360 is a legendary console. Modding it, especially with like an actual like sort of like hardware chip, is not probably for everybody, especially as soft mods get better and better. How much did we pay for it through Power Up Gaming?
$110.
Not cheap, but the mod chip costs a little chunk of money by itself. If you've got an old console and you wanna live check your temperature, which is of course the only thing I would ever do with a modified console, not bad. Now the second console we sent into Power Up Gaming is the entire reason why I wanted to go with them in the first place. This should be our Game Boy Advance Consolizer. Now, the idea here is that you take actual, real, authentic Game Boy Advance hardware and you essentially turn it into an HDMI little mini console. So we, I think, shipped them in our DK Oldies Game Boy Advance because it was the one that was in sort of like the worst shape. So it's very nice that he sort of gave us all, well, literally everything back. Much like with the Xbox 360, there are a bunch of options you can do with it.
So we did the Consolizer service and we added a red LED.
So when we shipped this to him, again, this was previously a DK Oldies console, I believe. He emailed me, he's like, hey, I saw a problem with your Game Boy. I think it was about the contacts. It wasn't working. So he actually disassembled it, cleaned the contacts, put it back together to make sure it was a functional board before doing this mod. He didn't charge me extra Further proof of some great quality control from DK Oldies. Oh my God, dude. Whoa, that's so sick. So he did sort of point out that when he had gotten the parts, there was a slight scuff on the top corner, which I do see there. He sent me a photo like, hey, fortunately I don't have any other parts in stock. I can complete the build with that little sort of slight scuffed corner, or I can order a new one, let me know what you want to do. We'd already been waiting a bit. I didn't want to wait another couple weeks or whatever for it. So I just had to go ahead and go with it. It's pretty minor. I don't even really care about it. But I actually really like the fact that it's clear and see-through because you can see sort of like the fake buttons on here. Micro USB. It's fine. It's fine. Micro USB. It's fine. You have a mini HDMI for your actual display out. You still do have access to the headphone jack as well as the original volume wheel. And then up front, you have access to the card slot, the Game Boy Advance slot, as well as you've got little prongs for e-reader and a Super Nintendo slot. This is neat. It's actually really well done. Let's plug it into the TV though and see what it's like to experience a Game Boy game via HDMI. Now, because this is hardware-wise the same thing as a regular Game Boy Advance, it should theoretically play all Game Boy games, right? Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. But I'm gonna just try it with a copy of Pokemon Leaf Green, which fits in.
I'm so surprised you picked Pokemon. Look at my surprised face.
I believe that this little guy is our power button. We did pay extra for the LED so we could see. Let's hope it works. Oh, it's not a button, it's a switch.
Oh my God.
Oh, and we're just good. Okay, now that's maybe not a great sign. We can work with that. Let's try one more time.
Too bad Ken's not here to magically fix it.
I know, there we go. So I'm gonna do selected down and we have the picture. So let's actually look through some of the options. So you can do 2x or 2x blend. By default, you see every single pixel. You do the 2x, it kind of smooths things out, and then you can do the blend too. The zoom, you can do 4.5x or 5x, which is too much. You got Game Boy Advance Color, which looks a little bit more accurate to the display. Game Boy Color, DS, or VBA. Oh, perfect. Oh, I double clicked it. No, he found me. I will say picture quality, image, music. Diglett, I'm prepared. And the thing is, because it's a real Game Boy piece of hardware, there's no emulation, there's nothing you need to really worry about with it. This mod, I will say, was a little bit pricey, because not only did we provide our own Game Boy Advance, which to be fair, the Game Boy Advance is not that expensive. How much did we maybe pay for our GBA Consolizer modification?
Yeah, we paid $245.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you that this is worth it. But what I will tell you is that there is a beautiful, beautiful world out there full of sunshine, rainbows, puppy dogs, and consoles that get to live their free-range life. They don't need to be in DK Oldie's back storeroom. Much like you can make your life better by subscribing to the Austin Evans channel and ring-a-ling in the ding-a-ling. So that way, your resident local ding-a-ling, being me, can spend a bunch of money on things and you can decide if that was worth it or you want to avoid what I did at all costs, which is normally the case.